So I got my Valley Brew tasting glass. A little bit of whiskey again, it's the end of the night. Of course, water. No white wolf. White dog, whatever the fuck. Alright. So, yeah, that's my beer. We're through day 7. It's hour-wise, it's exactly, we're through day 7 and we're on like the beginning of day 8, so to speak. Still keeping it at 50 degrees. This is, once again, this is Tasty from Brewing Network, his fermentation schedule. And according to him, I should be, as of right now, because we're essentially on day 8, the marks mean I'm through with them, I should be turning it up to 60, and I believe if I did that, I would have something blowing out. And he also said, when he talked about, you know, lager fermentations and fermentations in general, you kind of keep an eye on it. You don't just, you know, follow what somebody told you or what you usually do because you usually do it. You got to keep an eye on what's happening. And this is, I filled it pretty tall, and I mean, honestly, I would have probably kept it at 50 degrees at this point, even if I had extra headspace to allow that to gas off more and let the yeast be more active. But they seem to be doing fine at 50 degrees. And I know I talked a lot about how it looked like an ale, and I still think it does, but regardless, I checked out a lot of videos on YouTube, and they all have a freaking thick grouse, and most of them have blow-off tubes, so this is nothing new. Just new to me. So to kind of facilitate the quickening of the fermentation, about once or twice a day, because it's pretty tall in there. It's probably an inch at its thickest spot, I'd say, maybe even an inch and a half. I've been shaking it, and what that allows it to do is it agitates all this up here, and it hits a little bit more of the yeast. Basically what happens is the yeast that's stuck up here fall and pass through the entire volume of beer, so I'm hoping that you know, they catch sugars on their way down and they get to work, basically. So that's what I'm doing right now. My cat's making a ton of noise. Okay, and that did enough. You can kind of see it. You know, you can totally see that. Yeah, that was not happening before, and that is more than just on the sides. I hope. I can't really see into the beer, but and that was a very gentle shake, and it's still falling continuously. Like, those are streams, they're not static. So that's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. And the airlock, I haven't even looked at it. It's the first time I've opened it today. Must be 52 degrees, or 50, really 52. Yeah, that's when it kicks on. Alright, it seemed to slow down a lot. Even yesterday it was kicking bubbles out faster than that. Oh, okay, there's enough. That's, well, Honestly, that didn't slow down much. It is cold, so I'm guessing that facilitates the fact that it's a slow fermentation. I just thought that, I pitched plenty of yeast, I believe. Like I said, I started with a 2-liter starter. Let that work for 24, a little more than 24 hours probably. Stepped it up one time, basically decanted and brought it back up to the 2-liter mark with fresh cool wort, and let that go for probably 24 hours, maybe a touch less, more like 18. And there was a lot of yeast in there, so basically, and it created a lot in here too, so I don't think it's working on that anymore. It should just be working on those sugars right now, man. So just extra thermal mass in there. That's all those extra things are. Ice packs. They were all frozen when I put them in there, and I held them next to the carboy actually with a towel to keep them from falling, and that helped me cool it down because this wasn't primed. This fridge wasn't primed or anything, so like it wasn't cold already. Not that would do anything really. So I just waited and got it cold, put the ice packs on it, and then turned the fridge on, pitched cold. I really hope this finishes. I mean, freaking, yeah. Through day 7. It was at its highest point here. Let me show you the brew log again. It was at its highest point there, on day 4, and it's been there, like it's it may have even, like, honestly, it may have grown like a 1/4 of an inch more, 1/4 to 1/2 an inch here and there, and yeah, we're through day 7, so that's 4 days of hard fermentation. Day 1, I barely saw any foam at the top. I know there's no notes there, this is just from my memory. Day 2, a slight bit more. By day 3, well, actually, probably no. Day 2, there was. It looked like a fresh poured beer with a nice even head, no hot particles. It was really nice. It was beautiful. Day 3. So day 3 is when the presence of started. Yeast on the top of the foam, the CO2, structure or whatever. And there's probably yeast on it the whole time, but that's when I noticed it. That's when it was globs, as opposed to just a foamy head. And yeah, so it's been at a high level of carousing. And I assume I'm waiting for it to, begin to drop, and it hasn't yet before I boost it up even to 52. Right? You want to keep it down while it's working, and you want to bring it up to keep it working. So this is going to be one hell of a ferment right here. Not a lot of grain, not a lot of fermentables. Yeah. I'm curious as to how it'll come out. Stay tuned.